Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a really fascinating look into whole brain parenting. It feels like a genuinely revolutionary way to view child development.
It really is.
And our mission really is to pull out the most practical, usable strategies grounded in neurobiology to help you nurture your child's mind. We
Right.
want to understand how to build that resilience, that capability.
Absolutely. And the core idea, the thing that just jumps out, is that you don't need to carve out special thrive time.
Yep, right.
Every single moment, every interaction.
Yep.
Yeah, even the messy ones, the arguments, the meltdowns.
Yeah.
That's your opportunity. You're literally shaping their brain right then and there.
That completely reframes things, doesn't it? Because we spend so much time and energy, worrying about fevers, cuts, scrapes, the physical stuff.
hmm
But most of us, myself included sometimes, we don't have that basic grasp of how the brain actually works, and yet it's central.
It's central to everything we care about as parents. Discipline, making good choices, how they handle emotions, relationships, even knowing themselves.
Okay, so if the brain is key, what's the main principle here? You mentioned shaping it.
It boils down to one word: integration.
Mm.
That's the whole game.
Integration.
Yeah, helping the different parts of the child's brain connect and work together like a team. When that connection, that integration gets blocked, well, that's when you see the challenging behaviors pop up.
Okay, so integration is the goal. The sources use a really helpful metaphor for this, right? The river of well-being.
Oh, such a great visual. Picture yourself, floating peacefully down this beautiful river in a canoe. That's mental health. That's integration.
Meaning you're flexible, you're stable, you can adapt to the currents.
Exactly. But if you lose that integration, if things get bumpy, you get pushed towards the banks.
And one bank is chaos.
Chaos, that's feeling totally out of control.
Yeah.
Turmoil, confusion. Think of a toddler just erupting, yelling, throwing sand everywhere.
Mm,
Pure chaos.
okay. And the other bank.
Rigidity.
Yeah.
The complete opposite. Imposing way too much control, being totally inflexible, unwilling to compromise or adapt.
Like the kid who just will not budge on sharing that one specific toy, even if it's broken.
Precisely that. Lock in. So the big insight here for parents listening is,
When you see those behaviors, the chaos or the rigidity.
yeah, don't just see bad behavior. See it as a signal.
Mm.
Your child is stuck. They're out of the flow, integration is blocked, and they need your help to get back to the middle of the river. They need a guide.
A guide, not a judge. I like that. So how do we guide them? Where do we start with integration?
Well, the first big connection is horizontal, linking logic and emotion. We're talking left brain and right brain.
Ah, the classic two sides. So left brain, that's the logical, literal, linguistic one. Loves order, lists, words.
Exactly. Your inner accountant, maybe. And then the right brain, that's the emotional hub. It's nonverbal, reads faces, tone of voice, posture. It sees the big picture, the feeling, the gut instinct. It holds those autobiographical memories, the images and sensations.
So the problem isn't left versus right. It's when they're disconnected.
Totally. If you're only using your left brain when your child is upset, you might be stating facts, but it creates this emotional desert.
Mm.
The child feels completely unheard, unseen.
Because you're not connecting with the feeling.
Right. And flip side, if it's only right brain, you get an emotional flood. Just overwhelming feelings, images, body sensations with no language or logic to make sense of it all. Chaos. Again,
Okay, so we need them working together. Teamwork.
teamwork. Which brings us straight to the first practical strategy. Connect and redirect. This is absolutely key when that right brain flood is happening. The big tantrum, the major upset.
Connect first. How?
Right brain to right brain. It's nonverbal first. Get down on their level, use a soft tone, maybe a gentle touch or a hug if they'll accept it. Mirror their feeling with your expression. Show them you get it. They need to feel felt.
Feel felt. Okay, so you're soothing that emotional right brain first.
Yes. That calms the nervous system, lowers the defenses. Only then, once they're calmer, more receptive, do you bring in the left brain. That's the redirect.
That's when you talk about rules, consequences, problem solving.
Exactly. The sources use a great analogy. Be the lifeguard. You swim out, comfort the struggling swimmer, get them safely to shore first. You don't lecture them about swimming rules while they're still drowning, right?
Ah, no, that makes perfect sense. Deal with the emotion, then the logic, and the lesson.
You got it. Discuss the misbehavior after they've calmed down.
Okay, strategy 2 also links these hemispheres, but it's about making sense of scary stuff. Name it, to tame it.
Yes, this is huge for processing fear or pain. It's about storytelling. Remember the example of Mariana and her son Marco?
The car accident, he kept saying, "Ia woo."
Yeah, he was only 2. physically okay, but his right brain was stuck on the intense fear, the image, the sound of the ambulance, the woo-woo.
And Mariana didn't just shush him or distract him.
No, she helped him build a narrative. She used language left brain to organize the scary right brain experience. Yes, Sophia had a seizure.
The car crash, the woo-woo came.
The doctors helped. It was scary, but we're safe now. She helped him tell the story, putting words and sequence to the overwhelming feelings and images.
So the act of storytelling itself integrates the experience.
Precisely. The left brain's words and logic help organize the right brain's flood. It makes the fear manageable, prevents it from becoming this kind of unresolved, implicit trauma that could pop up later as anxiety or phobias.
Wow, okay, so connecting left and right is crucial, but you mentioned another kind of integration, vertical.
Yeah, moving from the horizontal link to the vertical one. Think of the brain like a house with 2 floors connected by a staircase.
Okay, a brain house. What's downstairs?
The downstairs brain. This is your primal brain, the brain stem and limbic area. It's pretty much fully developed when we're born. Handles basic survival functions, breathing, blinking, and importantly, our instant reactions, fight, flight, or freeze.
Driven by the amygdala, the watchdog.
Exactly, the amygdala is down there, always scanning for danger, triggering anger and fear. It's fast and reactive.
And upstairs.
That's the upstairs brain. The cerebral cortex, especially the prefrontal cortex right behind your forehead. This is the sophisticated thinking part. It's responsible for all the good stuff. Sound decision-making, planning, controlling impulses, empathy, self-awareness, morality.
It is not finished yet.
Not even close. It's under massive construction all through childhood and adolescence, right into the mid-20s.
Mid-20s, okay. So that's the challenge.
That's the huge challenge. Because when a child gets really stressed, tired, hungry, scared, overwhelmed, the downstairs amygdala can basically hijack the whole system. It's like it slams a baby gate shut on the staircase to the upstairs brain.
Ah, flipping the lid. I've heard that phrase.
That's it. The child is trapped downstairs, flooded with emotion, acting purely on instinct. No access to logic, reason, empathy, or impulse control. Just raw reaction.
Okay, so how do we help them keep that staircase open? Or reopen it?
Strategy 3. Engage, don't enrage. When you see a meltdown brewing, you have to consciously try to appeal to their upstairs brain, not just trigger the downstairs watchdog even more.
Meaning, avoid threats, ultimatums.
Exactly. Those things just make the amygdala fire faster. Instead, try to engage their thinking, planning, decision-making functions. Remember the quesadilla story.
The 4-year-old who didn't want to eat half.
Right. The parent could have said, eat half now or no dessert. That would likely trigger a fight, pure downstairs reaction.
But they didn't. They engaged the upstairs brain.
Yeah. They said something like, you need to eat some quesadilla. What do you think would be a fair amount? They invited negotiation, problem solving.
And the kid came up with 10 bites.
10 bites. Not exactly mathematical, but it was a solution, using his thinking brain. It bypassed the power struggle, avoided the meltdown, and gave his upstairs brain a little workout.
That's brilliant. It's not just avoiding a fight, it's actually building skills at the same time.
Precisely. Which leads right into strategy 4. Use it or lose it. Since that upstairs brain is under construction, it needs practice, like building a muscle.
So we need to give kids chances to exercise those upstairs skills?
Constantly. Give them age-appropriate choices. Let them practice decision-making, even small things. Maybe with allowance, do you save for the big thing or buy the small thing now? Let them experience minor natural consequences sometimes.
And asking questions that make them think about themselves.
Yes. Foster that self-understanding. Why do you think you felt so angry then? What could you try differently next time? Build empathy, too. Look at Sarah's face. How do you think she's feeling right now?
Reading books is great for that too, right? Asking about the characters.
Perfect opportunities. Every little bit of practice strengthens that upstairs brain and its connection to the downstairs.
Okay, what if they've already flipped their lid, they're deep in chaos, the staircase is definitely blocked, what then?
Strategy 5. Move it or lose it. Sometimes the best way to regain emotional balance is through physical movement.
Get the body involved. How does that work?
Well, think about what happens when you're angry or scared. The downstairs brain floods the body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. They prepare you for physical action, fight or flight.
Right, your heart pounds, muscles tense.
Exactly. But if the child is just stuck, maybe arguing indoors, all that physical energy is trapped. Movement, running around the yard, jumping jacks, even just stretching helps burn off that stress energy.
It kind of completes the cycle.
It does. It helps regulate the nervous system, clears out those chemicals, and sends signals back up to the brain that the danger might be passing, which can help the upstairs brain come back online. It's like hitting a physiological reset button.
Move it or lose it. Okay, that's practical. So we've covered horizontal left-right integration, vertical upstairs, downstairs. What's next?
Now we zoom out a bit to a broader kind of integration, integrating the many parts of the self. The sources call this developing mindsight.
Mindsight. Okay, what is that simply?
Mindsight is basically the ability to see your own mind clearly, to notice your thoughts, feelings, sensations, memories without being swept away by them. And, crucially, it's also the ability to sense and understand the inner world of another person. It's insight plus empathy.
Insight and empathy. Got it. There's another visual tool here, right? The wheel of awareness.
Yes, another helpful one. Imagine a wheel. Around the rim are all the things you could be aware of. Thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, sights, sounds, memories, everything.
Okay, the rim is what we notice.
And the hub of the wheel represents your core awareness, that centered place from which you notice everything on the rim. The problem is, we often get stuck on the rim.
Meaning we get totally consumed by one thought or feeling, like anxiety takes over everything.
Exactly. You identify with the feeling on the rim instead of observing it from the hub. This leads to a really important strategy. Let the clouds of emotion roll by.
Teaching kids that feelings are temporary.
Yes. They're like weather, they come and go. We need to help them understand that a feeling is a temporary state, not a permanent trait. It's, I feel sad right now, not I am a sad person.
That difference is huge.
It is. And get this, the actual physiological lifespan of an emotion, the chemical rush in your body, it's only about 90 seconds.
90 seconds. That's it.
That's the chemical part. If you're still feeling intensely angry or sad 5 minutes later, it's because your thoughts stuck on the rim are re-triggering the feeling, re-stimulating that chemical reaction over and over.
So teaching kids and ourselves to notice the feeling from the hub, like watching a cloud pass, can actually stop that cycle.
That's the power of mindsight. You acknowledge the feeling without getting hijacked by it. You let the 90-second wave crest and fall.
Wow. Okay, so that's integrating the self. How does this connect to integrating with others? You mentioned empathy.
Well, the brain is fundamentally a social organ. We are wired for connection, wired for we, so the final layer is integrating self and other.
Which means even conflicts can be useful.
Absolutely. Here's a strategy. View connection through conflict. Those inevitable sibling squabbles, the arguments with friends, don't just see them as problems to shut down. See them as prime opportunities.
Opportunities to teach mindset skills.
Exactly. How to see things from the other person's perspective, how to read their nonverbal cues, how to negotiate, compromise, take turns. Conflict is where these skills get real-world practice.
Okay, turning conflicts into lessons. And there was one more element mentioned, fun.
Yes, don't underestimate the family fun factor. Making time for intentional play, silliness, just enjoying each other, it actually lowers reactivity and makes everyone more receptive.
Builds those positive relationship pathways in the brain.
Precisely. When you have that foundation of fun and connection, the harder lessons land better. It reinforces what healthy, integrated relationships feel like.
Okay, this has been incredibly rich. We've covered so much integration as the core goal.
Right. Linking left and right brain with connect and redirect. Name it to tame it.
Linking upstairs and downstairs with engage, don't enrage, use it or lose it, move it or lose it.
And then developing mindsight. Seeing feelings as clouds, using conflict for connection, all helping kids get back to that river of well-being.
It really provides a whole toolkit. But as we wrap up, there's a final thought, isn't there? Something that brings it back to the parent.
Yes, and it's crucial. The effectiveness of all these amazing strategies really depends on your ability, as the parent, to be present and regulated yourself.
Meaning,
if you find yourself consistently having huge reactions to your child's behavior reactions that feel way out of proportion, maybe intense anger over spilled milk, or overwhelming anxiety about a small mistake.
reactions that kind of surprise even you.
Exactly. That intense energy often isn't really about the spilled milk. It's likely being triggered by your own stuff, your own implicit, unexamined memories and experiences from your childhood, your past.
So the final provocative thought is, look inward.
It is. The ultimate act of whole brain parenting might actually be doing the work of integrating your own brain, making sense of your own life story, understanding your own triggers, processing those old implicit memories.
Because when you do that,
When you do that work, you're less likely to react based on your baggage from the past. You can show up more fully, more calmly, more attuned to what your child actually needs in this moment. You become the integrated, mature parent you want to be, and you break cycles.
That's incredibly powerful, integrating ourselves to help integrate our children.
It's transformative work for everyone involved.
A perfect place to end our deep dive for today. Thank you so much for joining us.